Welcome back everyone to another video. Hope you're all doing well. I know it's been a long time since I've done one of these. I'm not going to give you guys a bunch of excuses at all, but we're back at it again. So today I'm here with Zeke Flatten, and we're going to be talking about the RICO case involving some of the Mendocino County Sheriff's Office personnel, as well as the District Attorney's Office down in Ukiah, and Fish and Game, in a couple different law enforcement agencies relating to this ongoing RICO investigation. Zeke Flatten is part of it, so I know a lot of you are familiar with this case. It's been ongoing since 2017. I've had a lot of requests recently to discuss it and, in a little more detail and kind of what's going on with it, what's happened so far, and what is going to go on going forward. So Zeke is one of 4 total plaintiffs in this case. And I'm gonna try to keep this video short as possible for you guys so it doesn't drag on for like 3 hours or something. But it is a lot of information to cover. We're gonna do the best we can as always. And yeah, just kind of get after it. So yeah, Zeke, thanks for agreeing to do the video with me today. So
thanks for having me.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead, and I know you've already done an interview with NBC that kind of outlined what happened to you back in 2017, but for those that didn't see that, or kind of know the circumstances surrounding the RICO investigation with the county, why don't you kind of start off briefly with what happened to you in 2017 it was Hopland, right? Yeah, Hopland in Mendocino County.
Correct. So it was December 5th, 2017. I was traveling down from Humboldt County on my way to Santa Rosa. I had 3 pounds of marijuana with me in the back portion of my rented vehicle. They were in a box that was next to my luggage, and right about noon is when I was stopped. And it was about approximately 10 miles south of Hopland.
Okay.
It wasn't on the reservation. It was just past I guess a landmark there called
Squaw Rock.
Squaw Rock.
Yeah,
correct. And that's where the vehicle was parked. The unmarked police vehicle that pulled me over was parked right there at the pullout by Squaw Rock. And so as I passed their location, a couple hundred yards after I passed, the vehicle pulled out behind me, and the 2 officers that were involved in my stop and essentially a highway robbery, lasted 5 minutes on the side of the road, was Joseph Huffaker from the Rohnert Park Police Department and Sergeant Bruce Smith from the Mendocino County Sheriff's Department, who at the time was currently working for the Comet Unit. And like I said, the entire stop was 5 minutes on the side of the road. There was no consent to search. There was no search warrant. There was just, we're going in your vehicle and grabbing that.
Yeah.
And I pretty much knew immediately that something was wrong from the onset. When Bruce Smith had his head inside my passenger window, I just started getting some vibes that something was not right. I didn't know what it was at the time. And his technique seemed very much of somebody with law enforcement training, but his procedure was not a following of what you would expect from somebody that it was actually enforcing the law. But either way, he asked me to get out of the vehicle, and I did. And once I got out of the vehicle, I immediately knew something was wrong. I'm looking at 2 individuals that both are dressed in all green BDU style uniform. They both had a raid vest on, different raid vests. The raid vest didn't match, but they both said police. And but there was no patches, no badges, no name tags.
And the vehicle was clean too, right? It didn't have any Mendocino County Sheriff's Office or Rohnert Park Police Department in safety on the side, right?
It was all blacked out, police interceptor SUV. Matter of fact, it's Rohnert Park has 2 of them, and it was one of those 2 vehicles. It was later we found out through discovery that the vehicle was signed out by Tatum, J.C. Tatum, for that particular day. Even though J.C. Tatum was not at my stop, the vehicle was assigned out to him on that day. Again, immediately noticed that, no patches, no name tags, no badges present. They didn't identify who they were. Their reason for stopping me was a very, weak, pretextual, you were speeding, but didn't give me a specific speeding amount, what speed I was doing or anything else. And then immediately went away from that topic of what the purpose of the stop was, and went right into, do you have any money, drugs, or contraband in the vehicle? And at that point, I just knew to shut up and try to gather as much information as possible about the two individuals, my surroundings, the circumstances, trying to remember what was being said almost as much as I could for verbatim. And at that time, I noticed that the vehicle that stopped me had California exempt plates. So I was like, okay, these are most likely legitimate cops, and I don't probably have to worry about getting shot. Just comply.
Yeah.
Gather as much as you can, go along with it, and just see what the outcome is. And like I said, it was less than 5 minutes, and Huffaker handed my license and my rental car contract back and said, have a nice day. And he claimed to be with the ATF. I believe the exact verbiage was, we're with the ATF. Marijuana is taking over in California like cigarettes, and you may get a letter from Washington. And
but they didn't, like, after they took your 3 pounds, they didn't scratch you any paper, right? They didn't give you a ticket, they didn't give you like a court date, they didn't give you shit, right? They just took the weed.
They took the weed. He Bruce Smith opened the back of my SUV, took the box out of the back, and about that time is when Huffaker started talking, and kind of like I believe, hindsight, a little bit of a diversion. Started asking me, is this your correct address on your driver's license, things like that. While Bruce Smith took the box and placed it near the front passenger wheel of their vehicle. And again, kind of hindsight, I think it was just out of view of 101. Everybody driving by.
Yeah.
They don't. And he didn't touch anything else in the back of my vehicle. Didn't go through my luggage. Didn't during this time when he was grabbing the box out of the back, I told him that I had a California doctor's recommendation and that it was in my front seat in my backpack. Yeah. And his response to me was, oh, you have a doctor's recommendation. That gives us the right to search your vehicle. And I just shut up because I knew that, that doesn't give them the right. Yeah. They don't have a warrant. They don't have my consent. Let them go on and do what they're going to do. There's no sense in trying to contest it on the side of the road.
So, and just really quick, I know that I saw some of the comments on the on NBC when they put your interview up with YouTube, and you're always gonna have idiots saying stupid shit, on things like that. I get it all the time. People that don't know what they're talking about, they have zero life experience, never been in law enforcement, whatsoever, anything like that. But I did see some of those comments that said like, oh, well, he got ripped off by cops. So what? Like he had weed, and they basically said that you were a drug dealer. And it's like, you're a criminal as it is, so like, why should anybody care about anything? Kind of, it's funny too, because they're justifying the cops' actions themselves by making those comments. But just really quick, just for those people that are probably going to say that anyway, what were the 3 pounds for? Because I know you're not. Like, I know you're a very successful individual, and you make like really good money doing the shit that you do normally for work. But what was the 3 pounds for?
I had an idea for one initial product, which was a cannabis-related product, but it was more of a packaging design. Out of going to dispensaries on my own throughout the country, California, Colorado, I had never seen this packaging idea that I had, this concept. So that was the first genesis of me thinking about, okay, I have about a year to, while I'm managing this post-production of these films, this is going to be a side project. It developed into actually being about 4 different products we were looking at. Not only my cannabis packaging design, but then also a CBD once-a-day dog vitamin. And then another product we were looking at had nothing to do with actually the physical product of cannabis. We were shooting a pilot for kind of like a reality TV show of entrepreneurs that are going to California or that are in California during this green rush. So those were the different products that we had that we were working on.
So it was business related ventures, you know, that you were utilizing those 3 pounds for, and you weren't like some, you know, black market marijuana transporter.
Absolutely.
And yeah, so, but like I said, regardless of the reason why you had 3 pounds, but anybody that's been a cop, that's why I want to just address it really quick, because like those people that said that, like, they've clearly no experience and they don't know what they're talking about. Like, you're not trafficking 3 pounds of weed, especially in 2017, you know what I mean? And it's just, regardless though of what you were doing with it, it doesn't excuse them doing that. All right, so let's just get that out of the way really quick. All right, so moving forward, so you get pulled over, they take your shit. So explain like what happened, you know, with the sheriff's office after that, who you talked to, and kind of how that process went.
Okay, so after I got robbed, I immediately like just started combing the internet, looking for photos of officers in that area and trying to identify who it might have been, and whatever they did was not legitimate and legal.
Yeah.
There's no way you could stretch it. You could sit there and say it was lazy police work. They just were, you know, trying to grab stuff, and they weren't issuing, you know, a receipt for what they took or whatever else. Great. You could say all of that, but then as soon as you start claiming you're a federal agent with the ATF,
yeah,
that shows right there that there isn't anything.
It's not legit. Yeah.
It's not legit.
Yeah.
So I went into trying to look and find who it is. Talk to lawyers, and I was told that, okay, there's going to be some risk if you want to come forward with this, but you definitely, you know you're the right person to come forward if you want to. And so I took a couple days thinking about that, and on Friday, December the 8th, so 3 days after I was robbed, at 9 o'clock in the morning, I called the Mendocino Sheriff's Department to try to report the incident. And I spoke with a Christina Luna, and she initially I asked for somebody in internal affairs.
Yeah, she works in professional standards, so like the office that conducts background checks and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.